Hi everybody, this is Ashley with My Amelia Photography. Today's tutorial is going to keep it simple. I'm just going to show you how to install your actions into Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. If you will, just ignore how congested I sound. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. When you purchase your My Amelia Actions, you're going to get a zip file. And depending on whether you have Elements or a full version of Photoshop, you're going to have different things in your file. So we're going to start with the full version of Photoshop. When you get your zip file, one thing that I found that helps is to create a folder somewhere that's easy for you to get to. Mine's on my desktop just because for demonstration purposes that's really quick for me to click on. Somewhere that you can save all your actions. So mine is called My Amelia Actions. Basically open your zip file, highlight these, extract to the folder that you created. I already have them in there, but we'll just replace them. Okay, go to your folder, just too many clicks. Okay, I have a bunch of stuff in here, but here's the two things that we just moved over. Read your terms of use. It's basically a contract saying you're not going to copy what I do and sell it yourself. Okay, so here's the action file. Basically, to install into Photoshop, all you do is, it takes about half a second, double click. And if Photoshop isn't open, it will open itself. If it is open, then it'll just show up on your action player. Okay, your action player is this little thing over here that looks like a play symbol. Open that up, and the action set you just installed goes to the bottom of the list, and you can move it up or down or wherever you want to. Easy as that for Photoshop. Okay, Photoshop Elements is a little more involved. So we'll go to the zip file for Photoshop Elements. That's right here. Okay, and there's a couple extra things in here. So just highlight all of these, extract them to the folder you have. I have one for Elements Actions as well. Just replace them all. Okay, sorry. Now you have 4 items. You've got this little file folder. You've got the action file, just like with the full version. You've got the terms of use, and then you have installation instructions. These are really important because the file path where you're going to save your actions depends on your operating system and on the version of Elements that you have. My operating system is either 7 or Vista, I'm not sure. But and my version of Elements is 10. So my file path will be related to both of those. Okay, there's 2 ways to do this in Elements 7 and up. There's one way before that. Version 7, they came out with the action player, and it mimics the action player in the full version of Photoshop. Wow, my voice is getting worse. It mimics the action player in the full version, where you can just install the whole set, and then you can choose the actions from that set. The drawback to that in Elements is that the action player is in the guided edit panel. So when you need to adjust them, you have to go back to the full edit panel, and it adds a few extra steps that's really unnecessary and annoying. Also, I think with some actions, they're not fully functional if you go through the action player, but I haven't encountered those yet. I just heard that. And then the other way to do it is to install them into your effects palette, and that's on your full edit panel, and you can just double click on the action and it runs it, and then you can adjust, and I prefer that method. But some people prefer the action player, so we'll cover both. And we'll start with the action player because it's easier. So you have this action file just like with the full version. Copy that. And then you're going to come over here to your C drive or whatever. Like I said, in your installation instructions, it's going to give you the correct file path. This is my file path, so make sure you read your instructions. Okay, so you're going to go to Program Data. Make sure you're not going to Program Files. That's really important. So Program Data, Adobe, and then Photoshop Elements, and then you're going to pick your version here. Mine is 10. And then Locale, E-N-U-S. It's English, U.S. English, I believe. Yours might be different if you're in another country. Workflow panels and actions. And this is where you'll paste. And I already have it, so. Okay. And then next time you open Elements, it should be, the action set should be in your action player. Okay, now my preferred method, like I said, is to put it into the effects palette. It's a little different. Okay, that's where this file folder comes into play. So you're going to open that up. Alright, there's a bunch of files in here. For each action, there's 3 files. You've got the action file itself. You've got this image, which is the thumbnail that's going to go into your effects palette. And then you've got this XML file, and that's what categorizes the actions so that you can filter out just My Amelia Basics. So if you know that you're only going to be using those actions or you want to make it quicker to find them, you could just select My Amelia Basics and it'll filter out just these actions. Okay, so make sure you copy all of these. Well, I'll do it that way. Okay, and the file path is similar. Program data, Adobe, Photoshop Elements, 10, and this is where it changes. You're going to go to Photo Creations, and then Photo Effects. And then you're going to paste all of those in here. I already have them, so I'm not going to do it. But you paste all those that you just highlighted into your Photo Effects. And this is your Photo Effects palette. Then what should happen is that when you open Photoshop Elements, it should populate those actions into your effects palette. Sometimes it doesn't. What you can do is come here a few steps up to where the version number is. You open that up. Oh. There's this file here called thumbdatabase.db3. It can be named different things. I think it depends on the version that you have. One thing that you can do is rename this. You can just add old to the end of the name. And then when you open Elements, it should create a new thumb database file. And basically it forces it to populate your effects palette. When I found that it's just easier to delete this file and then open Elements and it repopulates the whole thing, but it does take longer. It probably takes 10-15 minutes. So it's basically how big a hurry are you in. Either way, it's easy enough to force Elements to put the actions in where you want them. But there you have it. That's how you install your actions into whatever version of Photoshop you have. Hopefully this was useful. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at myamelia1104@gmail.com. You can also reach me on Facebook. This is Ashley. I'll see you later.